When your workplace becomes obsessed with race and DEI, why one hospital worker is speaking out against training that he says goes too far. Meanwhile, money troubles at Minnesota's largest level 1 trauma center could make matters even worse. Next. Our guest is a longtime employee of Hennepin Healthcare, formerly known as Hennepin County Medical Center, or HCMC. Due to the circumstances, he needs to remain anonymous. You'll understand why here in just a moment, but we're just going to call him Frank for this segment. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for joining us today, Frank.
Thanks, Liz. It's good to be here.
We're talking about Minnesota's largest level 1 trauma center, and it's also a public teaching hospital. You've worked there for quite some time, but now you want people to see for themselves what's been going on behind the scenes, especially with DEI training. The training, which seems mandatory for about 7,000 employees, includes the white fragility process, and apparently it's based on a rather self-important idea that without diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, DEIB is what they're calling it, there cannot be health equity. Tell us, Frank, what's been going on with all of this?
Liz, I've been there for probably around 25 years. When I first started working there, it was, obviously a community hospital. It's a county hospital. And you always felt a sense of really trying to help out and really help the community. You always had a sense of purpose. There was a mission there that wasn't focused on anything other than patients. At one time, the hospital's motto was, "Every life matters." It seems these days that lives matter so long as you're not a white male.
Not only are you speaking out, Frank, you've been documenting what's been going on. Video clips from your training session really stand out. We want to take a look at just a few of them now.
Now let's hear a conversation between two Hennepin Healthcare employees. I love working at HHS. I get to work with so many minorities. Most of us here really believe in the mission.
I'm happy that you feel a sense of pride working here at HHS. What do you mean when you say you get to work with minorities?
No, people of color.
I thought that was what you meant, but I wasn't sure. Actually, people of color are the global majority.
Global majority?
The term minority does not equate to people of color. It simply is a descriptor, like more or less. In fact, equating people of color to the word minority is erasing the massive amount of people of color who exist in this nation and around the world and making them feel smaller than what they are.
Let's listen to a conversation between a Black Nigerian employee and a white employee.
Why do you think people keep using the term white to describe Caucasian? Isn't the correct and more technical term Caucasian? I mean, isn't the term Caucasian more scientifically aligned or proper? I feel a little offended when someone calls me the white man.
Actually, there's a good reason why the term white is used as a racial descriptor instead of Caucasian. And there's nothing scientific about the word Caucasian at all.
Don't tell me the word Caucasian is racist now, too.
Becky, a cisgender white woman, referred a friend for a new position that opened in her department. Her friend got an interview but wrote the job. Instead, Becky's boss hired Sari, a Somalian cisgender woman who speaks Somali. Becky is upset that her friend did work at the job despite Becky's strong recommendation. Let's listen as Becky vents to another coworker.
I can't believe this. My friend was totally qualified for this role, and I know they were the best candidate. I can't believe our boss hires Sarah instead. Sarah only got hired because she speaks Somali.
So just explain what was going through your mind as you watched these videos in recent training.
It's really disappointing. It's discouraging. It's heartbreaking. You spend all these years going to work and focusing on taking care of people, taking care of patients, keeping people safe, trying to make people feel better, doing everything you can to be helpful. And at the end of the day, your employer thinks you're evil because of your ethnicity or your race. And a lot of people will say that, well, they're trying to help people that are, from marginalized groups, and that's fine. And nobody that I know is against that. Nobody's ever said, hey, this person's this ethnicity, let's not take care of them. I've never seen that in all the years I've been there. But the employer, Hennepin Healthcare as an organization, has become absolutely obsessed with race and ethnicity. A lot of this is subjective opinion. It's when it comes to microaggressions and white privilege and all of this, none of it is objective fact. It's all subjective opinion. But you are expected to agree with it in order to move on. When it comes to the annual required training, you have to answer the questions correctly as they have them set. And if you don't move on. If you don't move on, you don't complete the training. And if you don't complete the training, they don't allow you to continue working.
Just watching these training videos, it's difficult to overlook how the anti-racism at play here seems prejudiced and hyper-focused on race, and how their idea of inclusion actually excludes others, as you were just mentioning there, Frank. What are you seeing at your workplace? How has this affected things overall at the hospital?
Well, they say that they want inclusion for all and they want anti-racism, but they seem to feel that does not include white men. When you're a white male working there, your opinion doesn't count for anything. And in fact, with all these training sessions, you're made to feel like you're the bad guy. So you're the bad guy, and if you don't agree with them saying that you're the bad guy, you're still the bad guy, and you have privilege. But if you don't agree with that, that's just your privilege talking. There's no way around it. They have their mindset that you are white, therefore you are bad, and that's how a lot of white people working there feel, whether intentional or unintentional. To quote them, I'm harmful to people there. Whether they're patients or staff or visitors, I'm just a harmful person. All I've ever done there is my absolute best to help people. And race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, none of that has ever factored into anything that I've ever done. But there's a lot of people there that are very hyper-focused on this, and their entire goal is to make you feel bad. You can't even come out and say this to people because you're just going to get railroaded as a white male. You're going to get railroaded. You'll probably get disciplined. You'll probably get fired. And you have no recourse. You have absolutely no recourse. It's all racism. And even if you say that you try not to see race or any of these other things in people, you just want to see them as people, well, you're being bad for that too, because, well, you should acknowledge it and you should see it and you should agree with it. And it's like, no, not everybody agrees with this. And you're left feeling like you have no voice. You can't say anything. You can't disagree with it, or you'll lose your job.
Given the executive orders of President Trump, the actions taken by the Trump administration, do you think this mandatory DEI, or DEIB, as they're now calling it, poses even more financial and legal problems over there at Hennepin Healthcare, since the hospital receives federal funding? That's no secret.
My understanding is that if a hospital or a healthcare organization is receiving state reimbursement for cares, they're required by Minnesota state law to implement some type of DEI program, is my understanding. That could be wrong. On the flip side, with President Trump's executive order, if you do have stuff like that, you can't receive federal funding. So it kind of becomes you kind of wonder, where is Hennepin Healthcare getting more funding and reimbursement from? Are they getting more from the state, or are they getting more from the federal government? And right now, they have put the Compass program on hold. And I have coworkers who have horror stories of being in these online meetings where a lot of people don't even understand what health equity is. Like, how is, say you have a white person and a person of color, they come in, they're both there for the same medical condition. And it's almost like, okay, so if the white person has a better outcome than the black person, it can't have anything to do with their physiology. It has to be racism. It has to be that our medical staff treated them poorly because they're not white. And that's just a disgusting thought. And it's a disgusting accusation against all the men and women that work in this organization and give their all every single day to try and help people. It's a slap in their face.
I know you speak for many at Hennepin Healthcare. We're in touch with quite a few of them regularly. But Frank, thank you again for coming forward. We do appreciate your bravery in speaking out.
Thanks, Liz.
That will do it for this episode of Liz Collin Reports. We'll see you next time.